Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the In Between the Stitches podcast. I am your host, Brady Wilson, with my co-host, Chase Olschwanger.
Good afternoon.
Well, it's a good afternoon for Stars fans. It's not a good afternoon for Cowboys fans. I guess Mavericks fans are happy, and Rangers fans are just happy the season's over. So that's what we got. We will start with the Dallas Stars, who are 3-0. And you have to do the other O.
Yeah, I know.
Because there has been an overtime shootout win. But even though it's a win, it goes into the column. If you lose in the overtime, then it goes into the,
And how cinematic it was that Mikko Rantanen puts the goal in, and then Ottinger stops Nathan McKinnon to win the game.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. The Stars have played. I don't want to say they've been playing with fire. They've been playing well.
Their third periods, though. Oof.
They just have some moments where they still have that problem. I'm getting the Stars, like the schedule and stuff up. That's why I'm still on my phone. They're still having like some problems with other teams taking more shots. They're not getting as much time in their zone. But they are getting some quality looks. Obviously, when you have talent like this, you're going to get good looks. The Wild attempted a comeback, and the Stars just kind of, pulled the rug out from under them, thankfully.
All three teams have attempted comebacks. I mean, Stars have had pretty good leads on all three of these teams. 3-0, 5-1, 4-1, or whatever it was versus Colorado. Or maybe Colorado wasn't that big of a lead. But anyways, versus Winnipeg, it was 5-1, then ended up winning 5-4. Then Wild 3-0, ended up winning 5-2 once they made it 3-2. It just, you don't want to see these third period collapses, but it's early into the season. They won the game, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Ottinger's been fantastic. To start.
Gets an off night tonight.
A little rough from him in that first game against Winnipeg. Let in some goals that he probably shouldn't have. But you won 5-4, so you're happy. Colorado, again, you had that shootout. And then, Tuesday they played Minnesota. Essa had a great shot. I can't remember who had other goals. Wyatt Johnson had a beautiful. Just little,
juke inside.
Dipsy-do, as Razor would call it. But it's been fantastic having everybody back. The one team that doesn't make everybody sad, because even the Mavs, who are good, they traded Luka. So at least this is the one team that everyone in DFW can go, this team is good. They care about the fans. They care about being good and getting better. And, I think that's what you are looking for if you are the Dallas Stars and if you're a fan of the Dallas Stars.
That is correct.
But tonight they got Vancouver at home, and then Saturday, St. Louis and St. Louis. Then next week, same thing, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, all at home against Columbus, the Kings, and Carolina. Mikko Rantanen gets to play them again. So pretty linear schedule.
Stankoven's back to Dallas.
And Stankoven comes back to Dallas. So, we'll see. Hopefully Matt Duchene's okay. Took a big hit. I'm blanking on his name, but he took a huge hit. Hopefully he's okay. We're already down a forward with Jamie Benn out with that collapsed lung. Ritz Kovian's been getting some looks. And, I think the young guys, it's, they're that's kind of the Stars' plan was, we lost, Granlund, and we lost Dodonov, and we lost Marchment. Well, we got guys like Bork and Ritz Kovian, these young guys that we're relying on to kind of fill those voids. So hopefully, they start to get some scoring in, but Nathan Bastian, who was a late signing, he got his first goal. I think that was against Colorado. So, you're getting some production from everybody, which is kind of what you want. You obviously have your big three with Robertson, Rantanen, and Rope. And then you have your big two defensemen with Harley and Miro. And then you're just hoping everybody else can be, playing up to the level a little more. But we will now move to the Mavericks, who start next week.
Yeah, the 22nd.
Yep,
I believe 22nd.
Just
wrapped up preseason yesterday.
How they looked?
A 3-1 preseason.
So they only do 4 games.
Some teams did 5. They did 4.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, they wrapped up against the Lakers last night. Luka did not play, but he was there, and he had his time to see everybody, which was nice.
Did he spit in the coffee of Nico Harris?
No. He said they asked him the night before they played. Even though he wasn't playing, they asked him what it would have liked just to go up against him. He's like, there's always going to be something. He said, it's always going to be something. There's always going to be, a weird feeling in my, my body when I play them. There'll always be something. So, I mean, he obviously, I don't know if he'll ever feel comfort again, but or
That's dark.
in LA, like when it comes to like just not thinking about the Mavs. I mean, whatever. I mean,
Luka will never experience happiness.
No. Trust me, when you're making that much money and you're in Los Angeles,
and you're getting married and everything.
He'll be happy, but he'll always have. I guess I should rephrase. He'll always have a good feeling in the Mavs for the Mavs in the back of his head, in the back of his heart, or in his heart. But no, a really good preseason. Anthony Davis played great. Cooper Flagg played great.
Is he hurt yet?
No, he's not hurt.
Okay, good. Gotta check. It's gonna be AD watch every game. Is he hurt? Oh no, he's.
And we hope that he's not outside of the rest days that he gets. But no, they look really good, and 3-1 should show that. Everybody, they played their guys. Cooper Flagg, and this is his real first test outside of Summer League, which is all undrafted free agents and all rookies.
You're not breaking any news, are you? Please. We can't do that again.
It's Brashard Smith going from questionable to healthy.
Oh,
so
okay.
If that's breaking news, Chiefs fans, there you go.
Well, just you have broken things like the what was it, the Micah trade.
Yes,
so
yes.
We don't need any more.
20 minutes after I said I was 60-40 that he would still be here.
We both said that.
But no, Mavs look really good. And Flagg, like I was saying, this isn't Summer League where you're going up against all undrafted free agents or rookies or whatever. No, you're going up against NBA talent. And he played very well. I think he averaged 13 a game in the 4 games that he played.
That's good.
In one half of playing, by the way. They're not playing him full game. He played 20 minutes max and averaged 13 a game, which is really, really good. And he looked so comfortable, which is so, big pause moment, but he's so young and raw.
Why'd you?
Why'd
you have to say it?
Because you would have said it after I.
No, I would have. It would have been
so
like
everybody's watching is gonna, they're gonna say pause. They're gonna say pause.
Chase, I know I marked that the show is not made for kids, but bro, come on, like.
No, but in an athletic tone, he's so young and raw, where it's so scary to see what he can do because there's not many guys that
you don't have to go there. You could just be like, you're not Drake here. This isn't Kendrick. You're not, dude, you don't have to be like, pause, hold on now. You're good.
No, okay, well, anyways, fine. Besides, no, it's crazy to see how comfortable he looks going up against other NBA players.
And he's what, 19?
18. And you've never seen anything like this from a guy.
Well, how is he 18? How was he in college? And he's already out of college for a year, and he's still.
Remember, 18. He reclassified
as a high schooler.
Yeah.
So how was he? So he was in high school.
He was a junior. Years? He was a junior, but playing senior basketball, and he just reclassified. I don't know how it works.
So
I didn't do it.
He did 3 years of high school.
Yes. He reclassified.
He was also smart because he had to pass all his classes.
I don't know how it works, but he was so good at basketball and had Duke offers from everywhere. Duke. That he was able to go. I don't know how all of it works, but I know that he is a year younger. Like he's supposed to be a freshman in college now, but we wouldn't be talking about him in a Dallas Maverick uniform if he didn't reclassify. So
it's kind of like with Luka, where for the first 6 years of his career, he was always on those top players under 25. He was always on the list, so for the next 7 years, Cooper Flagg is going to be on those lists,
right?
Because he
the same.
Is so
Luka
young.
came in 18. Yeah, it's but Luka turned
19
in February.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Flagg turned 19 in December.
Oh no! What I'm saying is that because you watch all the talk shows, right? And you would see him, top NBA players under 25, and Luke was on the list. Well, now we just kind of restart that prime of somebody maybe on that level of talent with Cooper Flagg.
Yeah,
you hope.
If
not. Oh boy!
But it is unbelievable how extremely comfortable he looks out there.
I thought you were gonna say lucky. How lucky we got.
Well, of course it is, but no, lucky. With just him, just past that. What's past that? He's a Mav. You go past it now. You talk about how the current state, and how he's on this team, and how well he looks, and how comfortable he looks on the floor with other NBA players, playing with them, and then going up against other NBA players. It really is. An amazing thing to watch. And just the sky's the limit for him. I mean, there is, nobody's ever come into the league like this with the same kind of play style since LeBron, at the same age.
It's high praise.
So, I mean, it's interesting. It is really interesting, and there's a lot of pressure on him. But he's got so much, it's just so rare for a number one pick just to go into a system like this with multiple Hall of Famers and already a team that's trying to contend. So he doesn't have as much pressure on him as if he went to a team that was rebuilding like Washington or Utah or something like that, or Charlotte.
Taylor reminds me of, and I know that this is it's going to take a little bit of a darker tone for a second, but it reminds me of Len Bias. Celtics were the best team in the league, and they traded one of their guys to the Clippers and then got the number 1 overall pick. And unfortunately, obviously, Len Bias passed away. But this kind of reminds me of that, a top team gets the number 1 pick, because of it. Now, ours was kind of because of a trade, right? We didn't get the pick because of a trade. We got the pick because we made a trade that made us.
We traded Luka, which made us bad if we had Luka.
Well, no. AD and Kyrie probably squeak out an 8 seed.
Well, right, but both end up getting hurt.
They both ended up getting shocker. Yeah. And then, Kyrie ended up tearing his ACL, and AD ended up being in street clothes, as he usually is. And you ended up playing with, practice squad guys. Because I remember, this was just a few months ago, right, where we were coming on here going, oh, my God, are we going to have enough people to play in a game? Because all of our guys are injured, and there's a certain, time in the year where you can't add new players. It's because of the cap or the roster. So we may be going to a game with 7 players.
So you can't. I think you have to have 8.
So theoretically, we could have to forfeit, because there was an actual will the Mavs have to forfeit games because they don't have enough players.
Well, no, that's not what it was. No, they were never going to forfeit, because you can dress Anthony Davis. You can dress him and put him in uniform. You don't have to play him.
But there was still talk about it.
Yes.
Theoretically, the Mavs could have to forfeit. They won't, but they could.
They wouldn't. But yes.
They've been in a situation where
they might have 7 healthy guys. No, they never had a time where they had 7 healthy guys.
They
had 8. They had 8.
It got close.
But no, if worst case, they would literally just dress whoever in a uniform, and that counts as a guy on the roster. And it would just go down as a coach's decision, do not play. But no, I mean, we'll jump, NBA starts next time we're on here. For first regular season game will be in the books. Second regular season game will be in the books. But first for the Mavs will be in the books. And it's exciting. Everything's, like you always say, everything, nice with NFL, MLB, NHL,
football,
NBA.
Everything.
Everything's going on at once. Next week that's when it is. So
are they still on Mavs TV?
Yeah.
And it's $100.
The $125 yearly subscription. Yeah. So
no. When they're on primetime, I'll watch.
Yeah. Look, I know you're not a Mavs fan, but it is a
I am a Mavs fan.
I know you're not. I know you're not. No, sorry. I know you're a Mavs fan. I know you're not buying the Mavs subscription, especially without Luka. I mean, if Luka was there, you would consider.
What's frustrating, I probably still wouldn't.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Here's why I wouldn't. The Stars are free on Victory. The Rangers, if you have DirecTV, a couple other things, you'll get them. The Cowboys are always on national TV. So the Mavs really want to have to pay for. And the only team I would ever, you would never have to pay for the Cowboys. So the only team I would actually probably pay for is the Rangers. And unless if the Stars were $125, and that'd be tough. I have a radio. I am petty enough, and they're on the ticket just in case anyone's curious. The Mavs and I may be listening to Mavs games on the radio.
If I'm glad the Stars are free, because I probably would not if it was $125, just because they're going on at the same time the Mavs are playing, and I put Mavs first when it comes to regular season.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
I will keep up with the Mavs scores and games, and I will try to maybe listen on the radio a little bit. Yeah. But when they're on national TV, I'll try to watch. But
look, when Chuck Cooperstein's on the radio and Mark Follow is on TV, it never hurts. It never hurts to listen to him.
Well, folks, we're going to talk about the thing that we forgot to talk about last week. We walked out. We usually go out and get some water, and then as I was forgetting, and I went, "Oh my God, Chase, we're idiots." He went, "What?" I'm like, "We forgot baseball playoffs." He's like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah, we forgot to do the baseball playoffs." He's like, "No, we talked." I'm like, "No, we talked about Skip Schumacher. We didn't talk about the baseball playoffs."
Yeah.
Which the last time we did that was October the 2nd, which the wild card series was still going on. So now we're going to talk about the division series. That's my bad.
To be fair, at least the division series was kind of eh.
Well, Tigers-Mariners was great.
Yeah, but there was only one series, I think, that went. Maybe there was 2.
No. Cubs-Brewers went Game 5.
Yes, it was 2-0 to start.
That was a great series.
Yeah.
Dodgers-Phillies.
Yeah.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Blue Jays trounced the Yankees.
Yeah.
Oh no, I feel awful.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for the Yankees fans. They have 27 freaking rings to cry on. So
haven't won since.
Well, some college football news.
Hmm.
Curt Cignetti will not be leaving for Penn State. Curt Cignetti has signed a 8-year extension worth about $88 million a year.
Wow.
Not a year, $88 million total.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, I was going to say.
$11 million a year.
Okay.
Well, good for him. That Indiana program is ranked number 3, so they're good. Anyway, back to the baseball. We're to the CSs now. Championship Series. Blue Jays Mariners. Blue Jays took one back last night. They trounced the Mariners, but the Mariners were getting to them in Toronto. And tonight it's going to be Castillo versus Scherzer. And if Scherzer's anywhere near, look,
He'll go 3 innings.
This is Mad Max in the postseason, my friend. I don't, this is Max Scherzer. This is must see TV. I got 3 words for you: Luis Castillo, Max Scherzer, must see TV.
A little more than 3 words.
Well, you get the reference though.
Yes.
You're a basketball guy. For those of you that don't get it, Charles Barkley did a thing where he was like, "I got 3 words. I got 3 words for you." Or no, I got 1 word for you. Right? Chris Paul, Steve Nash, must see TV, and they're like, "That's more than 1 word, Chuck." And he's like, "Okay, Paul Nash, must see TV." That's still. And he's like, "Okay, must see TV." That's still not 1. Like he kept going. And then you have the Brewers just. I mean, this is kind of like watching, a lion go up against like a pit bull. Like the pit bull's cool, and the pit bull can hold his own, but it's a lion. I like that analogy.
So I mean, this is what's going to cause the lockout in 2 years.
Well, I'm about to get to that, Chase, because me and my dad were talking about this, and I'm trying to, and I think he understands what I'm talking about. And it's the Dodgers are up 2-0. They got Glass now going against Ashby, so I think Ashby's he's the opener.
He opens for them.
He's the opener.
Yeah.
They're doing another opener game. The Brewers are. And it's against Tyler Glass now. And for the Dodgers, this is what I'm worried about. It's going to be a little bit of a rant, so I'm sorry, Chase.
Go ahead.
This is what worries me about baseball and the future of it. The Dodgers, if they win the World Series, they win back-to-back. They've bought 2 World Series then. If they win it again next year and they three-peat, you're going to have a big problem in baseball. Like, I'm sorry. This is like there's a reason why fans should not be rooting for should be rooting against the Dodgers, not just because they're the new modern day Yankees. And Dodgers fans don't have to like me saying that. It's true. They are the modern day Yankees. Okay, they have now they've bought a world championship. They're the modern day Yankees, and even then, the Yankees didn't really ever really buy championships. A lot of those 90 teams were homegrown, or they found good role players. It wasn't until we get to the late 90s, early 2000s when they really started to get like A-Rod and those guys in Sheffield, and they bought players. And 2009 was kind of a bought championship. But outside of that, Yankees won a lot of theirs before free agency. So just want to make a note of that for those the Yankees buy championships. No, the Yankees bought good teams. The Dodgers are now buying a championship, and they could be buying a second one because all of their star players, none of them came up with the Dodgers. None of them. Kershaw, that's it. Muncy's like Adolis. Adolis isn't homegrown for us. They plucked Muncy off the scrap heap from Oakland. You look at Mookie. He's
crazy trade with Boston.
He's a trade, but you also traded for him because you had to pay him. So it's kind of like a sign and trade in free agency with basketball. It's kind of what I'm treating it as. Freddie Freeman, free agent. Shohei Ohtani, free agent. Yamamoto, free agent. Glasnow, trade. Snell, free agent. I mean, all these guys that are killing it for him. Teoscar Hernandez, free agent. Tommy Edman, I think, was a free agent.
Trade.
He was a trade.
3-team trade.
Trade. Kike Hernandez. Well, you kind of, he was homegrown, but he left. Now he came back as a free agent. Will Smith's homegrown. There you go. You got one. It's not good for baseball. It's just not. Because it's not fun to watch. It's not fun to like. It's fun to have. It's fun as if you're on MLB The Show, right? But it's not fun in real life when a team can sign Shohei Ohtani and he only accounts for $2 million a year on their payroll. That's not fun. That's not fair. Like, you're telling me like because every single team could do that. This is why it's not fair. Every team in the MLB, all 30 Pirates, any of the even the cheap ones could afford Shohei Ohtani for $2 million a year. The difference is that what they can't afford is the $68 million a year in deferred money. But the Dodgers have hold on. I want to get the number right because I don't, but the Dodgers, because I want to be correct here in the number, they signed in January, and they knew they were going to sign it, a 25-year contract with Time Warner Cable valued at $8.35 billion. So that $68 million is chump change. Chump change. But if you look at and no other team in the league is going to have that type of contract.
So he gets $68 million after each season?
No, I think it's going to be after like the contract's over. They have it deferred after the contract's over.
It's not just $68 million. It's $70 million a year, right?
Yeah, so you minus the $2 they're paying him each year. At least it's
so
how
he gets 68 times 8.
Yeah.
After the contract's up, or he gets 68 after each season.
This is where contracts are weird. I don't know the language of the contract, but
okay,
essentially,
I thought you give him 68 every.
He's only accounting for $2 million on their payroll right now, to my knowledge, in 25 years, yeah, they can afford the $68 million because they're the Dodgers and they have that contract. But the Reds, the Pirates, the other teams, they can't do that. That's not fair because you're getting Shohei Ohtani for an absurdly discounted price every year, allowing you to build your team, allowing you to sign other gargantuan free agent contracts. And it's not fun to watch. It's just not. They're a machine. It's fun to watch a machine team that just knife through teams. It's not fun to watch a team of free agents and bounty hunters and hired guns just rip through a team like the Brewers that are like mostly homegrown, right? Drafted, shrewdly scouted, maybe traded for some of these guys. Christian Yelich is like their horse, their big signing, their big, contract.
And teams are allowed for that. Teams can do that.
But the Dodgers, it's ridiculous. And if they buy another championship, the owners they're not going to have it. Because everything that I've been saying and they've been saying is it becomes true that there's a competitive imbalance again in baseball where these rich teams, mainly the Dodgers, can just buy world championships. Because I've been saying since the start of the year, baseball doesn't have an actual problem. It has a perception problem. In the offseason, we all go, the Dodgers signed another one. Bro, how can we compete with this? And we're going to get into the season, and they're going to be fighting for their division because the Padres are pretty good too. They're going to get to the playoffs, and they might get knocked out. And then it's, they bought a playoff team. They didn't buy a world championship, so who cares, right? Other teams are, getting to the playoffs. A lot of teams get to the playoffs. But for the Dodgers, if they win another World Series, well, now that perception problem turns into a real problem of this team cannot be stopped. They've won 2 world championships. They could have been a third because of the way they can do their contracts. They can defer all this money that other teams can't. It's not a matter of, other teams can't spend to the level. That's true. And that's just kind of how it's going to always be in baseball until there's a salary cap. Right? Is that there are going to be some teams that just can't spend as much as, look at the Rangers. We can get up to the luxury tax and get over it, but we can't do it for a 10-year period. Could we? Maybe. But the owners aren't going to want, they're not going to. And they're not going to be able to force them. So you're heading for a place where the players feel like they've given up so much in negotiations, and the owners are going to say, we need a salary cap. And the players have been adamant they're not going to do that. And it's going to get ugly. And I don't believe we're going to have a baseball season in 2027. I think in a boom period, because guess what, Chase? Cal Ripken Jr., he's not coming to save it. And Bud Selig, and can like me saying this, steroids are not coming to save baseball again. You don't have that thing, that person, that thing to come to baseball and save it. You just don't. It's not going to happen. If they do what I think they're going to do, I hope baseball will never die, but that's going to come close to having to reorganize the entire system because the owners, unless they can miraculously figure it out, and if they can, that's what I hope. But it looks like right now that we're not going to have a season in 2027. I don't think we will. And you know what? I told my dad, I went, Dad, we won ours because I don't know if we'll win anymore because I don't know what baseball's going to look like in 5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm happy we won ours because now I'll always have that memory. And whoever wins this year and next year will always have that memory. I don't want to be a doomer. I don't like, I hate being a doomer. But it looks like we could be seeing a really, really bad thing happening to baseball. And amidst a period where attendance numbers are skyrocketing, viewership numbers, not just on regional networks, but viewership numbers on national games, they're skyrocketing. And they're going to do this. They're going to lock the season out because neither side can. And I don't like either side. This is where I don't think the players understand. And it's why Mr. Noah Syndergaard blocked me on Twitter because he didn't like me pointing this out. You guys are millionaires. The majority of you guys are millionaires. Or you're making more money than I've made my entire life in one season to play a game. Right? What's the vet minimum in baseball?
No clue.
Okay.
$1 million or lower than that?
It may be lower than that. Sorry, I wish I had the number in front of me. The MLB vet minimum is $915,000.
Okay.
That's more than I'm going to see probably until I'm like 30, into my 30s. And you got guys that are just a few years older than me making that or more. And they have a need to complain that it's just so tough for them. Poor millionaires. Someone in the Ken Burns documentary as a fan they interviewed during 94 summed it up perfectly. You have billionaires and millionaires arguing over what to do with our money. And that is frustrating because we don't like the billionaires and we don't, hold on everybody. Sorry, someone's knocking on the door and I didn't want to yell into the microphone because I didn't think that would, audio-wise be a very wise decision.
I agree.
So back to what I was saying. We don't like the billionaires because they're billionaires. Who likes billionaires? But sorry, folks. Someone, after we had told them we were recording, decided to walk in. So anyway, back to what I was saying. We don't like billionaires because they're billionaires. Because who likes billionaires? I'm sorry. If you're a common fan, you don't like the rich owners because they have more money than any of us are going to see in our lifetimes. So why should I feel bad for them? Poor. Oh no, poor old billionaires. They have to, spend a little bit of their money. Feel so bad. But then why am I going to feel bad for the star players? Because that's who's negotiating. It's not, give me a name. This isn't Rowdy Tellez, who's still making $1 million this year, but scuffling to make it in the big league still, right? He's still, he's kind of bouncing around, but he's still making good money. But I could feel a little bad for him because, in probably 5 years, he's not going to be playing baseball anymore. He's going to be doing something else. That's fine. Fans have usually been more sympathetic to players because they're more like the common people, right? Especially back in like the Babe Ruth days, almost all the guys learned on like sandlots and then progressed up, right? Well, now that's not really what's happening, right? A lot of these kids, they play travel ball, which baseball, I'm sorry, it's a rich person's game. It's no longer the common man game because equipment's so expensive. It's just youth baseball. You have to have, parents have to travel on weekends. It's so economically taxing that it prices a lot of people out of playing. So a lot of these kids, right, that are able to play in youth baseball, they go from youth to high school, then to probably college, and then to the minor leagues. And now while they're making crap in the minor leagues, and that's fine. I'm all for trying to give more to the minor league players because they do deserve more. They do deserve to make. I remember Seth, who's been on the show. He worked at Quick Trip. He was like a manager there his senior year of high school, and he made more. If he worked a full year, he would have made more in a year than a minor league ball player. That's not exactly. I don't think that should be really viable. But and so when the players negotiate for that, I feel sympathetic for that. But when the players are crying about we don't have a salary floor and things like that, go cry me a river. I don't care. You're making more money than I'm probably going to see in my lifetime. Now, if I get like Stephen A. contract, you never know. Okay. But that's what's frustrating is that I don't care about millionaires crying. And then the players that are negotiating that are on that council, right? They're the guys like Max Scherzer. They're the guys usually the probably more high profile, like Marcus Simeon's our rep. Well, Marcus Semien got a 7-year, $185 million contract. So why am I going to really take him seriously when he's complaining? Money doesn't take away your right to complain, but it does make it for a fan, for the average fan who goes to maybe 2 or 3 games a year, maybe, right? It costs, prices have gone really nothing but up at baseball stadiums. And yet these guys are complaining and their contracts keep going up. I think fans are done. Fans are done being on the player side of things. I think they're just ready. They just want baseball to not have to have this happen, which is frustrating. So there's my rant. Hopefully it doesn't kill baseball. Hopefully what they do is they say, we'll work on a new contract while we're playing. I don't think they're going to do that. I think the owners are going to try to lock them out again, and you're going to have either a highly condensed 82-game NHL season for baseball in 27. You're not going to have a season. Which, funny enough, baseball has never had a full season canceled. They've had strikes and stuff affect the year, right? 81, they had the split season where, like, I think there was the Reds were the best team in baseball over 162, but didn't make the playoffs because they didn't qualify in either half. It was really weird. That's a whole rabbit hole I can go after the show if you're curious. But 94, it was like August when the strike happened and the season got canceled, right? So this isn't like that. This would be a full season, start to finish, World Series, everything gone. You'd be waiting 2 years for baseball. And so hopefully, what are your thoughts? But I've talked for a while now.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go too much because, I mean, you covered everything. But like, no, as a fan and as someone who, wants to watch my team, I don't want to lock out. I want them to come to an agreement on something because I want to watch my team. I want to watch baseball. Yeah. I mean, think about it. When basketball ends, when hockey ends, because football will already be done, that summer, from July to September, that's where I'm only watching baseball. And nothing's on in there, I mean, there's something to come home to at night after work and like, okay, the Rangers are on tonight, so yeah, I can't wait to watch them. No, there's not gonna be anything on. And, as a fan, obviously I don't want that to happen, but we'll see what happens. I mean, you covered everything. I agree with what you said. I mean, yeah, they got to find a way to, come to an agreement on something because, we definitely need baseball to continue to, stay around.
I hate to say it, there is a solution. It's a salary cap. The solution to all these problems is a salary cap. The players will never go for it.
Yes.
It will never happen. Unless you do it like the NHL and they have apparently the NHL salary cap's like the salary floor and cap. There's a salary floor in the NHL. It's only like a $20 million difference, which I thought was interesting. It's really close. I thought if they did like a salary cap at say $250 million, I'm throwing a number out, right? But the players say, okay, we'll do that, but we want a salary floor of like 150 for all 30 teams. Like that would be what it would, if there was ever a salary cap implemented, the players would want a really high floor as well. And the owners would have to give it to them. They would have to. Because if you want the salary cap, you've got to give them something big too. It's the only way I think I see that coming. I see that working. We'll move off of baseball now. Hopefully the Brewers can. I'm rooting so hard for the Brewers right now. I hope they beat them. And not just because they haven't won one. And so I like the teams that haven't won one.
No, moving from Milwaukee and Seattle.
Milwaukee, Seattle would be the perfect World Series. We could have a repeat of 2016, where you have two teams. Where that one was the two longest droughts. This one would be two teams that have never won going against each other. Right? Combined, they have one World Series appearance, and it was the Brewers in '82. Yeah. Right? So you would have...
Let me guess, they lost to the Yankees?
No, they lost to the Cardinals.
Okay. Wait. Was it still in the American League?
Yeah, it was in the Brewers in the American League. So you caught it. You caught the... Wait, hold on. Whoa, how are they playing the Cardinals in the World Series?
I got it. Yeah.
They actually made like a big trade, I think, before that offseason. The Cardinals had acquired Ted Simmons from the Brewers and had traded them My dad's gonna be screaming at the television when I can't remember who they traded him, but they did like a swap, and the Brewers got some guys, the Cardinals got some guys. No. I think the Brewers got Ted Simmons. Ted Simmons was involved in this. They made like a big trade, and they met in the World Series.
Funny.
In like the offseason. It was really, really funny. It was really, really funny. But, you know, I think that's how the Brewers got Rollie Fingers, too. I think in that trade. It may have been. I'm not 100% certain. My dad would know. But point is, Brewers-Mariners be the perfect World Series. I think the Mariners, look, that pitching is just superior. I think the Mariners are the one team that could, that's why I don't think the Blue Jays could beat the Dodgers. I don't think they have the pitching. I think the Mariners have the starting pitching in the bullpen to outlast the Dodgers. Yes. I really, really do. So, we'll see. Drop my pen. We will now move to football. UNT lost. We didn't cover that game. I kind of wish we had. It wasn't a good loss. Very unfortunate. So, college football, Texas
beat OU. That's all that matters.
Texas beat OU. Hook 'em horns. I will do the hook 'em today. But also gig 'em and sick 'em and all the horn frog ones. Dude, I don't have UNT is my team. I like UNT. I will root for UNT over every other team. However, outside of UNT, I don't really have like a team. I root for a lot of different teams. I like storylines. I like players. So we'll have to see with this college football season. But this season has just been absolutely nuts. Penn State fired James Franklin.
Had to be done, but crazy. It's still.
No, it had to be done. Absolutely had to be done. But you hate it because he always seemed like a really good dude.
He's a good man,
and the guys loved him. And
you ever see the video of when he went to 2 houses for the draft party? Yeah.
Look, he will catch on somewhere else. Some program will hire him. Like I could see Arkansas. They need a head coach, right? They fired their guy. Yeah, they fired their guy. I could see
UNC could need a new one here next year. I don't think it ever.
Wouldn't that be a coup though to get James Franklin? He's a big time college football coach.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool. So, I don't hate them exploring the option.
So we'll see. But we're going to move to the NFL now. Here's your college update. As we continue to monitor the college season. Week 7, Chase.
CeeDee Lamb officially will play Week 7. He will not be on a pitch count. Is what it says.
That's good for my fantasy
Said he could have played last week, but he wanted to make sure he's 100% for Washington.
Look, the problem for the Cowboys isn't their offense.
Nope, not the offense.
I didn't watch film this week really.
Don't blame you.
I needed a football break just because I just needed to I needed to get away from football. I needed to not deal with the Cowboys for once. I just needed to just take a step back and do what I needed to do, and I did that. We will watch next week regardless of the outcome. Just this week I couldn't watch. It was just I knew I was gonna be pulling my hair out. I was just I'm football done. I need to get out of football for a week. So I took a week off from football. Didn't really watch any film this week. Probably get back to it this week, hopefully with a win, even though I don't think we will. Defense is just, it's bad.
It is unbelievably bad.
Your linebackers can't read. They couldn't read a Dr. Seuss book. I don't know why I said it like that. They could not read a Dr. Seuss book right now. They're slow. They're not good at tackling. Well, not slow. They're just slow at processing. Yeah. They don't know what they're doing. They're not good at tackling. Your defensive tackles were getting walked out of the club by their guys. Derek Brown was a monster against your run. That's why he couldn't run the ball. He was a big reason why. Just a frustrating game from all around. And I think for the Cowboys, and this is the first thing I'll say, is I think the Cowboys are in a similar position to 2020, where you had a first year of an offensive head coach that a lot of people were kind of questioning a little bit. And then he ended up being interesting, except Dak got hurt that year. But the offense was killing it that year. But you had a defensive coordinator in Mike Nolan that sucked. Actually was better than this one. It's kind of crazy. That defense actually is putting up slightly better numbers than this one through the same amount of weeks.
Well, every stat is 32nd this year, so I could do a better job. So
Flus has not been good. But then what happened that offseason? Well, you fired Mike Nolan, you hired Dan Quinn, and you drafted all defense in the first 3 rounds. All right, it was Micah, Kelvin Joseph, Oso Digizua, Chauncey Golston, and Deshaun Wright. You got a
couple hits.
2 big hits, one a Hall of Fame level hit, one a really good, like a good solid like double in Osa, and then a nice slappy single from Chauncey Golston, and then the other two were just kind of, But you had a defensive focused draft, and you turned around the defense in 1 year. Now, Micah's a big reason for that. I fully admit that. But Micah, we didn't really know what he was going to be as a pass rusher until after that season. We went, oh, this guy can rush the passer. Oh. And then 2022, 2023, he was big reason why your defense was competent, right? Because you were missing on defensive picks. But hopefully the Cowboys can build a more well-rounded defense where you don't have to rely on one pass rusher to make your defense great. Look, I love drafting offensive linemen. Chase, you know that.
Yep.
Please not this year in the first round. Please, I understand why, and it's the only offensive position I wouldn't hate. I would just be frustrated because I have 3 names that I want on defense. I have 3 names.
I can tell you all right now,
and 2 of them are probably not going to be there when you pick. It's crazy to say about one of them. I want Reuben Bain.
Well, we talk about Downs, I'm sure.
I want Caleb Downs, and I want Arvell Reese. Those are my 3. Reese looks like Micah. He's an off-ball linebacker that can rush the passer.
Bain is more like what, Myles Garrett?
No, he reminds me of Tamba Ali. Long-armed, can move, plays with power. Bain is just a freaking monster. But, those are like the 3 names. I would say if you're watching an Ohio State game, 2 of them are on that team. Bain's in Miami, for those who don't know. So if you're watching, those are the 3 guys to watch for. Give me, please, draft defense. Defense. One of them has to be a defensive player. I don't care. Just one of them has to be. Has to be a defensive player. I actually want to use one of those picks to trade back, recoup that 3rd-round pick. Now you've got 4 guys you can add on that defense. You could add.
See, I want to trade up and make sure I get Caleb Downs.
Imagine if you added like a safety, another corner, a linebacker, and an edge rusher with those 4 picks. And if 3 of the 4 hit, which is what you need, right? Man, your defense turns around just like that. So, and you get a competent coordinator in here. But we'll see for the Cowboys. We'll move to week 7 here. Chase, here we go. We did not have any disagreements last week, so it's still tied.
All right.
Here we go. Steelers at Bengals. Thursday night football.
Pittsburgh.
Steelers, it's the battle of the old men, battle of the unks.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers. Don't have blank. Rams.
You're going Steelers, I assume, too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rams at Jaguars. You got a Rams team. I'm going to kind of set the stage a little bit.
With no Puka.
No Puka, but it's still Sean McVay. You have a Jags team that I think is playing kind of past. They're kind of playing with house money right now. They're kind of playing past what they should be. What's the word I'm looking for, Chase?
They're a good team.
But they're playing kind of past their potential. I'm taking the Rams. They're at Jacksonville, by the way.
But that's a London game.
It's a London game? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still taking the Rams.
Man.
It's up to you. Obviously.
I'm going to take the Rams.
But you don't have the guts to take the Jags.
I'm only taking them because they're favored.
Okay. Saints at Bears.
Bears.
Don't have to explain that one. Well, the Rattler looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And according to Seth wanted me to say this on the show today, that it was the worst officiated game he'd ever seen in his life. They had called a penalty after the play. And they had lined it. It was awful.
Yes. Saints got a little
Dolphins at Browns. So you got a bad Dolphins team that's going to fire their head coach here this year and a bad quarterback versus a team that has an interesting young quarterback with a weird offense but a really, really good
defense. I'm going to take the Browns here.
I am too. That's what I thought you were going to do. That's the smart
pick. Their defense is good.
Their defense is really good. By the way, if they did fire Stefanski and Jim Schwartz became available, there's your Cowboys defense coordinator. Please.
If you could just flip the Cowboys,
Jim Schwartz would be amazing.
Just flip the Browns defense as ours, and they get our defense.
Dude, we would be
Cowboys are Super Bowl.
Yeah. Raiders at Chiefs.
3-3, but they are the Super Bowl favorite in my opinion.
Now you have an Eagles team. Eagles are away. Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball more than 10 yards. The receivers are not playing well right now. A.J. Brown's frustrated. He needs to start reading more books on the sideline. A defense that's pretty good. They're going up against the best defense in the league with the best defensive coordinator in the league, and Brian Flores and the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings still have Carson Wentz at quarterback.
McCarthy's back.
I like McCarthy. So they got other offensive guys are healthy. Something in the Vikings.
I'm taking the Vikings as their home.
Okay.
That's why I'm taking them.
Skull. Patriots. Oh no, Panthers at Jets.
Panthers.
Panthers just ran over us. What's going to do to the Jets?
They are a good team.
Pats.
I'm so shocked it's a 1-point spread.
Pats at Titans.
Pats.
Pretty easy there. Giants at Broncos. Hey, you got the dynamic duo of Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, but I think that Broncos defense is just too tough.
Yeah, that's why I'm going. Yeah. Here's a good one.
What?
The next one you're about to read?
Colts versus Chargers. So a weird game. I'm taking the Colts because I think the Chargers are so banged up right now.
They are.
But I hope that Kamani Vidal, who I used $33 of my FAAB money on fantasy to get off waivers, hope he goes for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. It'd be great. But I'm taking the Colts.
Give me the Chargers.
First disagreement.
I want to get a disagreement in there.
Is Alt still out?
He was out last week, so I'm hoping that he's healthy this week.
If Alt is in.
Okay, there's your cap. Okay, I still have mine. And I know exactly what I'm going to use it on. A little improvision. You'll see.
It only works for players that are injured, Chase. You can't say that if the Cowboys fired Eberflus today.
That's not what I was going to say.
Okay. You only get a caveat for injuries or suspensions. You don't get a caveat for what were you going to say?
I was going to say I will take the Cowboys if they score 40. If they score anything under 40, give me Washington.
No, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. Packers or Cardinals?
Packers.
Pack, yeah. Commanders at Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Okay, so we have our second disagreement.
Taking the Cowboys.
I'm taking the Commanders because I'm smart. And you know this way? Hey, you know what?
I'm taking it because McLaurin and Debo didn't practice today.
Hey,
so
if I have to lose that one.
Yeah. You know what? I'm changing it. Give me Washington. Well, I'm staying with our guys. I'm staying with our guys.
Hey, whenever I've been pessimistic about the Cowboys, they've won, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Commanders.
I just think that they can score. Like, I mean, obviously, we know they can score. They get CD back.
But Luke McCaffrey's going to go for 300 yards passing or receiving
that's the problem.
Because we can't stop anything.
If the Cowboys had the 30th ranked defense, they'd be 5-1.
Yeah,
but they don't.
I know Vosh Lombardi's been talking about they need a new number for us. 32nd isn't
yeah.
We're the 39th worst defense.
Yes.
Falcons at Niners.
Falcons. Yeah.
Bucks at Lions. It's a big game. That's the big one.
Lions.
I'm taking the Lions. Texans at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
And then the bye teams are the Ravens and the Bills. 2 disagreements. Hopefully the Colts win.
I hope I go up. Or fine. I hope we're even.
I hope the Colts win.
I hope the Colts win and we're even.
And we're even.
Yes. I will.
No. You don't want that.
Yes.
What?
Because the Colts,
I
have the Chargers.
Yeah.
If the Colts win, that means you got me, but that means I got you on the Cowboys.
But if the Chargers and Cowboys win, you're up 2 now.
Yeah, but
so you want that to happen.
But I want the Cowboys to win over.
I do too. Yeah. So. Folks, appreciate you staying around and watching.
Sorry for the
sorry for the interruption. We'll have to go sort some stuff out.